You are in a meeting room. There are 6 people around the table. Your idea is on the screen. Someone says, "I love it," but something feels off. You cannot name it. You just know something is wrong. And for years, maybe your whole adult life, you told yourself that feeling was paranoia. That you were reading too much into things. That maybe you were the problem. Here is what nobody told you. That feeling was not paranoia. It was data. Your brain was picking up real signals. Signals the other person's body was broadcasting without permission. You just did not have the translation. Today, you get the translation. The lie they were sold. There is a belief most of us were handed early on. Trust people's words, take them at face value. It is polite. It is mature. It is what adults do. And that made sense once. In small communities, in close families, words were enough. People were held accountable by proximity. There was no hiding. But you do not live in that world. You live in a world of performance reviews and LinkedIn endorsements. Of polished handshakes and curate sincerity. Of conference rooms where everyone sounds aligned. Words have become the costume. The body is still telling the truth. You were taught to watch the costume. Nobody taught you to watch the person wearing it. You were playing a game designed for a world that no longer exists. Think about the last time you walked away from a conversation feeling drained. You could not say why. Nothing bad was said. The meeting went smoothly, technically. But you felt smaller than when you walked in. Or the promotion you did not get. And later you thought, "I knew." There was a moment, maybe weeks earlier, when something shifted. Oh look. A pause that went on too long. A smile that arrived a half-second late. Your brain registered every one of those signals. It filed them. It even warned you. But you had no framework, so you dismissed it as anxiety. Psychology has a name for what was happening. It is called somatic intelligence, the body's capacity to decode social reality before the conscious mind catches up. Every human being has it. Most people just never learn to read the report. The result? You make decisions based on half the available information. You trust people you should not trust. You miss allies hiding behind reserved behavior. You stay in rooms you should have left months earlier. Here is what this video is not. It is not about becoming suspicious of everyone. It is not about manipulation. And it is definitely not about judging someone in 30 seconds. It is about calibration. Your brain is already running this software every waking moment. But most people are running it at 5% capacity. They catch the gross signals, someone crossing their arms, someone frowning. And they miss everything subtle. The subtle signals are where the real information lives. Psychology calls this baseline deviation analysis. In plain language, you learn what is normal for a specific person, and then you notice what is different. Every person has a behavioral signature. When that signature shifts, something changed for them internally. You are not trying to read a stranger. You are trying to read a person. That changes everything. Here is what is happening in the brain during a human interaction. When two people are in proximity, their nervous systems begin exchanging information almost immediately. Not through words. Through micro-expressions, facial movements lasting 1/25th of a second. Through proxemics, the unconscious management of physical distance. Through vocal prosody, the rhythm, tempo, and pitch of someone's voice, apart from the words they use. The amygdala, the brain's threat and reward detection center, is processing all of this in parallel. It is doing a constant risk-benefit scan. Is this person safe? Aligned with me? A threat? A resource? And here is the critical detail. The amygdala completes its assessment before the prefrontal cortex, the rational thinking brain, even gets involved. You feel something about a person before you know anything about them. That feeling is not irrational. It is early. And it is often more accurate than any conclusion you will reach an hour later. Think of the amygdala as a motion detector. It does not analyze. It alerts. Your conscious mind is the security guard who checks the footage after the alarm goes off. Most people only run the footage when they already feel something is wrong. Skilled readers run it first. In 2019, a 38-year-old sales director in Chicago, I will call him Marcus, was brought in to restructure a mid-size software team. His manager was supportive in every meeting. Enthusiastic responses. Open body language. Nodding at the right moments. Marcus felt good. But there was one thing. Every time Marcus presented a plan, his manager would press his lips together just for a fraction of a second before he smiled. And in group settings, the manager always positioned himself slightly turned away from Marcus. Not dramatically. Just not fully toward him. Marcus noticed. But dismissed it. 6 months later, he was passed over for a VP role he had been explicitly told he was the front runner for. The reason given was vague. Later, much later, Marcus told me the signals had been there from the first month. I saw it, he said. I just did not have a language for it. He spent the next year studying nonverbal communication. Not to become manipulative, but to stop being the last person in the room to know what everyone else already felt. Here are 5 principles of reading people accurately. These are not tricks. Each one is grounded in behavioral science. Step 1: establish the baseline first. Before you can read deviation, you need normal. Spend the first 60 seconds of any new interaction simply observing. How does this person hold their body when relaxed? How fast do they speak? Do they hold sustained eye contact or intermittent eye contact? This is their signature. Everything else you observe is measured against this. The science behind this is called behavioral baseline calibration. It is what professional negotiators and intelligence analysts are trained to do first. Step 2: watch for clusters, not single signals. One crossed arm means nothing. One quick glance away means nothing. But 3 signals appearing at the same moment, that is a cluster. The brain does not run a single program in response to stress. It runs many simultaneously. Arms in. Chin down. Jaw tight. Shallow breath. That is a system entering protection mode. A single signal is noise. A cluster is the message. Step 3: track the moment, not just the state. Do not ask what this person is feeling right now. Ask what changed and when. Someone leaning forward who then suddenly leans back, something shifted in that exact moment. Something you said, or implied, triggered a withdrawal. The moment of the shift is the information. Step 4: read the face in thirds. The upper third, the eyes and brow, is the hardest region to consciously control. The lower third, the mouth and jaw, is the most socially managed region. The smile lives in the lower third. But the real smile, what psychologist Paul Ekman called the Duchenne smile, reaches the eyes. Crow's feet appear. The inner eyebrow rises slightly. If someone is smiling and their upper face is still, you are watching a social performance. Step 5: mirror and measure. Subtly mirror someone's posture and pace. Not immediately. Not robotically. With a natural 5 to 10 second delay. When 2 people are genuinely connected, their bodies synchronize automatically. This is called behavioral entrainment. When you initiate mirroring, one of 2 things happens. They unconsciously match your adjustment, signaling openness. Or they do not move at all, signaling guardedness or resistance. The response tells you more than any question you could ask out loud. You already had this ability. You were born with it. What you were missing was not the hardware. It was the language. When Marcus finally learned to read those early signals, the pressed lips, the turned shoulder, he did not become paranoid. He became precise. He stopped investing trust in the wrong rooms. He started noticing the quiet colleague in the corner who leaned in every time Marcus spoke. He built his next team around that person. The somatic intelligence you have been dismissing as anxiety, that is not a flaw. That is a feature you were never taught to use. The body does not lie. Not because people are honest, but because the body is running an older program, one that evolved long before language did. Reading it is not manipulation. It is fluency. You will walk into a room differently after this. Not suspiciously. Not arrogantly. Just awake. The next time someone tells you one thing and their body tells you another, you will not dismiss it. You will not call yourself paranoid. You will say, I see the signal. I have the language now. And that is a different kind of confidence. Not loud. Not performed. Just clear. If something in this landed for you, drop a word in the comments. I would genuinely like to know which signal you are going to start watching first. That is the only thing I will ask.